nettTracker, because consistency matters. With full two-way integrations with QuickBooks Online, Sage Cloud Accounting and Xero. This short video is all about deferred income. Let's set a little scenario. A contractor raises an invoice in advance and the project is for 6 months. All of the income is reporting in month 1. We need to make sure that that income is matched against costs incurred in later months. The example on the screen shows £68,500 worth of construction income in January 2021. This income needs to be apportioned over the months up until June. nettTracker can make light work of monitoring and making all of those adjustments for us. In my nettTracker file, I'm going to go to the prepayments and accruals area at the top. I've already enabled the feature. Now I don't have any settings in place for deferred income, so I'm going to come down to the bottom and set up the appropriate group in my accrual and prepayments groups. I'm going to choose the option at the top to create a new group. And this is going to be called deferred income. You can actually have more than one type of deferred income if you wish. Whatever is in this name is going to relate to a balance sheet account. This is for the particular type, deferred income, and you can add some further notes if you wish. Now that I've created that deferred income account there, I have to make sure that it's appropriately mapped to a balance sheet account in my accounting software. I'm using QuickBooks, it could be QuickBooks, Sage Cloud Accounting or Xero. So I need to go to the Manage Account Mappings at the top of my screen. So I've already mapped a couple of these accounts here for prepaid expenses and accrued income. So I'll just click Next through those. And it's the deferred income one. Now, if I look in my list of balance sheet accounts, I do have one in there, deferred income. If I hadn't actually created one, nettTracker can create it for me. And actually in the past, I can see exactly I've created one once before here and then deleted it. So if it does create an account for you, it will have the name *NT at the end of it. So you know that it's an account that actually nettTracker has created in your accounting software. So I'm just going to click Finish and save against that. Now that I have a deferred income item within my deferred incomes groups and it's mapped to my accounting software, I can now go ahead and create my deferred income adjustment. I can do that by going to the accruals and prepayments option at the top and actually use the option there, Create Accrual Prepayment. I'm going to select the type, which in this instance is deferred income. I'm going to select the group. You can have more than one group. We've only got the one in there. And I'm going to choose what it is that I'm going to defer. So defer, let's call it January income. You can call it whatever you like. You can add additional notes within here, and then we can select the profit and loss category. Now, if you don't see the particular category that you need, and in this instance, I need a income category, use the option to reload. It should make sure that your income categories come through. So perfect. So I've got my construction work done. So that is the account that I want to adjust. So one side is going to affect the profit and loss account. The other side is going to affect the balance sheet account, which I've already mapped. So the actual date when we raised that invoice was in January. So I'm going to change that to 2021 in this example. Doesn't really matter which day we choose there. And the amount that needs to be adjusted in full, 68,500. If I had actually coded an item directly to the balance sheet or already put a journal in place to defer it, then I could put a tick in the box. I've not done that in this example, so I want to make that adjustment at the same time. When do I want to start releasing that value back to the profit and loss? Well, I want to start bringing it back into the profit and loss every month from January 2021. This is for a period of 6 months. So I'll add 6 months within there. So I'm just going to select the option there to click OK. So that's my deferred income adjustment created. Now if I want to take a look at that at the statement, let's go to my accruals and prepayments. Look at my statement for deferred income at the moment, so I can select deferred income. If you do have more than one deferred income adjustment, just make sure that you check your page sizing. Now this particular adjustment is in a status of pending. I've not actually created any journals, processed any journals to my accounting software. But what I can see are the details. So from the 5th of January, deferring the January income, that's the amount that needs to be adjusted in total over a period of 6 months, and the monthly charge or monthly income adjustment here is £11,416.67. Now before I process any journal adjustments, I can take a look at my projections of journals and different payments. So for this example, I can look at my deferred income, and this is going to produce a little forecast of the different adjustments that are going to be made. So I can see that starting in January, I'm going to take £68,500 out of the profit and loss, and then moving forward I'm going to be releasing that back into the profit and loss. And you should find that nettTracker will take into account any roundings. So I can see there it's not the same every month, so it should all add up as it needs to. Now we can turn on full automation so that moving forward every month those journal adjustments are just going to happen without even having to log in. But if we are running this sort of manually and reviewing it, let's go ahead and see how that works. So I can go to my dashboard, and I need to request company processing because at the moment it's got a next reporting period ends 31st of January. So let me do this for 3 months. So I'm going to choose request company processing and take this up to the end of March. Now that's going to start creating all of the journals that I need, and I can see my next reporting period now is to the 30th of April. If I move down a little bit, we might need to just refresh this section here. So if I had further adjustments that needed to be made for depreciation, if I've got fixed assets in place, so I can see my asset register and my balance sheet, they agree. If I'm just moving down a little bit, I've got prepayments in place. So I've got the value per my statement of prepayments, which should agree back to my balance sheet. And there's my deferred income. Now, after making those journal adjustments, 34,000 is currently sitting on my balance sheet, which is half of the 68,500. If I take a look at the profit and loss account for that company, the construction work is now showing the appropriate levels of income in each month. Back in nettTracker, I can access the statement for my deferred income by just clicking on the little arrow on the dashboard next to the deferred income area. I can see my original value, how many months were required, what the monthly charge is, and what's been released so far, which is 34,250. The remaining months, and what the current balance is, 34,250. I've got two balances at the bottom of my statement, the value that we have in nettTracker, and we also have the value which is coming through from the balance sheet on our accounting software. Both of those should be in line, so I can see that I've got a difference of 0. Let's go back to the dashboard and process the journals for the next 3 months. If I take a look at the bottom of the dashboard, I may need to do a little refresh. We can see now that our deferred income balance has come back to zero because all of the necessary adjustments have actually been made. The same with my prepayments that I had in place. If I take a look at the profit and loss report, we can see all the months for January through to June have the correct values in there, with a total for that year so far of $68,500 from that single invoice raised. If I take a look at the balance sheet account for deferred income, you can see the original entry made in January with all the subsequent entries made until the balance has come down to zero. And there you have it. Adjustments made and monitored for deferred income in a few simple clicks. nettTracker, because consistency matters, with full two-way integrations with QuickBooks Online, Sage Cloud Accounting, and Xero. Use nettTracker with your favourite accounting software to adjust your fixed assets and depreciation, accrued expenses and prepaid expenses, accrued income and deferred income. For further information, visit the website net-tracker.com. For any questions at all, please send an email to support@farscape-applications.com.